Abram was born in a world far different from our own. People worship many gods and idols. This was the norm in Mesopotamia, where Abram lived with his family. His father, Terah, was a respected man. He decided to move the family from Ur to Haran. They packed their belongings and journeyed to their new home. Life in Haran wasn't easy. It was a new place with new challenges. Yet Abram grew up learning the ways of his people. He lived a simple life, tending to his flocks and family. However, Abram felt a stirring within him. He sensed there was something more to life than the idols everyone worshipped. He yearned for a deeper truth. One day, Abram's life changed forever. He heard a voice, the voice of God, speaking to him. God told him to leave his home, his family, and everything he knew. He was to travel to a new land, a land God would show him. Abram was filled with a mix of fear and excitement. He had never felt such a strong call before. God made Abram a promise so grand it seemed impossible. He told him he would become a great nation. His name would be great, and he would be a blessing to all people. God promised to bless those who blessed Abram and curse those who cursed him. It was a covenant, a sacred agreement between God and Abram. Trusting in God's word, Abram left Haran. He took his wife, Sarai, his nephew Lot, and all their possessions. They began their long journey to the land of Canaan. The journey was fraught with challenges. They faced scorching sun, harsh winds, and the constant fear of the unknown. They arrived in Canaan during a time of famine. Food and water were scarce. Desperate, Abram decided to take his family to Egypt. Fearful of the Egyptians, Abram asked Sarai to pretend to be his sister. He feared they might kill him to take Sarai as a wife. Pharaoh, impressed by Sarai's beauty, took her into his household. God, however, protected Sarai and sent plagues upon Pharaoh's house. Pharaoh, realizing the truth, sent Abram and Sarai away with gifts and riches. Abram and Lot returned to Canaan, now wealthier than before. The land, however, could not support both their large herds. Tension grew between their herdsmen. Abram, a man of peace, proposed a solution. He suggested they separate and offered Lot the first choice of land. Lot, drawn by the fertile plains near Sodom and Gomorrah, chose that region. He did not realize the wickedness of those cities. Abram settled in the land of Canaan, near Hebron. Though saddened by the separation, Abram trusted in God's plan. Section 5. Covenant with God. A promise sealed. God appeared to Abram once more. He reaffirmed his promise to make Abram's descendants as numerous as the stars. He promised Abram the land of Canaan as an everlasting possession. As a sign of this everlasting covenant, God changed Abram's name to Abraham, meaning father of many. God also changed Sarai's name to Sarah, meaning princess. He promised that Sarah would bear a son, and through him all nations would be blessed. To signify this covenant, God commanded Abraham to circumcise himself and all the males in his household. This act of faith marked them as God's chosen people. Section 6. The fate of Sodom and Gomorrah. The cities of Sodom and Gomorrah became infamous for their wickedness. God, grieved by their sin, decided to destroy them. However, he remembered Abraham and his nephew Lot. He sent 2 angels to Sodom to warn Lot and his family. The angels urged Lot to flee the city with his family. As they fled, God rained down fire and sulfur, destroying Sodom and Gomorrah. Lot's wife, disobeying the angels' warning, looked back and turned into a pillar of salt. Section 7. 2 sons, 2 destinies, Ishmael and Isaac. Years passed, and Sarah remained childless. She began to doubt God's promise. In her despair, she offered her maidservant Hagar to Abraham. Hagar conceived and bore a son named Ishmael. Years later, when Abraham was 90 years old, God reaffirmed his promise. Sarah miraculously conceived and gave birth to a son, Isaac. God declared that Isaac would inherit the covenant. This created tension between Sarah and Hagar. Eventually, Hagar and Ishmael left Abraham's household. Section 8. A father's sacrifice, the ultimate test of faith. God tested Abraham's faith in a way he could never have imagined. He commanded Abraham to take Isaac, his beloved son, to the land of Moriah and offer him as a burnt offering. This was a heart-wrenching command. Isaac was the son of promise, the one through whom God's covenant would be fulfilled. Abraham, torn between his love for his son and his obedience to God, chose to obey. As he prepared to sacrifice Isaac, an angel stopped him at the last moment. God provided a ram caught in a thicket for the sacrifice. Abraham's unwavering faith had passed the ultimate test. Section 9. Abraham's legacy, a life of faith. Abraham lived a long life, filled with trials and triumphs. He died at the age of 175 and was buried by his sons Isaac and Ishmael. Abraham is remembered as a man of great faith, the father of many nations. His journey teaches us the importance of trusting in God's promises, even when they seem impossible. Abraham's legacy extends beyond his own lifetime. He is considered the father of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. His unwavering faith in God, despite facing extraordinary challenges, continues to inspire people of different faiths around the world.